Well, hello there. Welcome in once again to another episode of Pickup Lines. It is the talk show in a car. And today we're blessed to have literally blessed to have another CEO in the passenger seat here. This is Saenz, the newly minted, brand new CEO and president of Catholic Charities.
Yes.
First of all, congratulations on that.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Full disclosure, we had talked before, and I had an interest in having you on the show in your previous role with the Boys and Girls Club.
Yes, that is right. Mm-hmm.
And as I've said before, the Lord works in mysterious ways.
He certainly does. Things are definitely on his time.
Yeah, and we'll get to all of that in just a little bit. As is typically the case on Pickup Lines, I like to start early and work our way up to present day.
Okay.
Set the scene for me here. Where did you grow up?
Mm-hmm.
What was your childhood like?
Mm-hmm. I was born and raised right here in San Antonio. I've never left.
What side of town?
So I actually went to Catholic school.
I know you went to Incarnate Word, right?
I went to St. Martin Hall.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay.
Which is sadly it's closed now, but a very, very small, very sweet Catholic school right across from Our Lady of the Lake. Yes. And so I went there as a child, loved it, got into cheerleading there.
What's the mascot?
We were the Pirates. St. Martin Hall Pirates.
Oh,
yep.
Nice.
I still have lots of pirate friends, and we are strong and many in San Antonio. Yes, SMH Pirates. And then I went to Incarnate Word.
High school. You're a Shamrock.
I'm a Shamrock, yeah.
You're a Shamrock. So I grew up in Victoria, small private school, so I totally get your vibe. My sister was a cheerleader, totally get it. And that's just a super cool time, and I'm sure you had a lot of fun doing all that.
So much fun. So I was a Central Catholic cheerleader as well.
Yes.
And cheerleading taught me so much about being a part of a team, hard work, dedication.
All the above.
Striving for, great goals, going to nationals, things like that. Yeah.
And eventually, look at you now, you're a CEO. So you did something right. What was the family dynamic like at home? Siblings, how would you describe just kind of like a typical day in your childhood type stuff?
So I'm the firstborn of three.
Me too.
Okay. And I'm the very typical firstborn, first daughter, A-type, all of that.
Leadership type, I get it.
I
see that. I see it.
Yes. And, my brother is 5 years younger than me.
Okay.
And then my sister is 7 years younger than me. So I was always very active, always wanted to be in the middle of whatever was going on at school and extracurriculars and such. And so I was always out of the house, busy. And so since they were closer in age, they were really much more closer. And then since I was the A-type personality, I was the one who was always talking to people, always representing my siblings and, speaking for them.
Advocating for them, those kinds of things.
Yeah.
And did you feel, I know I did at times, you feel kind of a little bit of a pressure to kind of lead by example? Because they'll never admit this, right? But they are paying attention to what Big Sis is doing and everything, right?
Yeah, I think they, they enjoyed watching me, do, all the things that I was involved in. And so that was a lot of fun for everybody. Yeah. But I was also there for them too, right? They both were soccer players. And they went to public school.
Got it.
So they went to O'Connor High School. They both played soccer. And so I have great memories of watching both of them play soccer. That was a really fun time as well.
Very cool. And then so when you were roaming the halls at Incarnate Word, and so many Shamrocks have sat in the car, I have great friends. It's just universally good women.
Yeah.
Turned out to be great women. What are your fondest memories of that time?
Oh, my fondest memories are, not having to worry about boys.
Because it's an all-girls school, by the way.
It's an all-girls school. Yes, it's an all-girls school. And so you would go to school and you would, not care what you look like. You would have the messiest bun possible, right on the top of your head, no makeup. And you were just free, to be your full, true self, and to really use your voice in the classroom.
Okay.
Right? And to learn the power of your voice in the classroom. which is something that's always been important to me. And so, yeah, I just loved having those really close, fun, crazy relationships with all of those girls.
So I get what you're saying, but do you think had you gone to a co-ed school or even another private school that was boy-girl that you would have turned out differently?
I don't know. I will say, so after Incarnate Word High School, I went to the University of the Incarnate Word as well.
UIW, yes.
For my undergrad. And I didn't realize it at the time, but I now know that the Sisters of Charity of the Incarnate Word definitely had a profound impact on my path. Social services.
Sure. Yeah.
Helping the poor, helping vulnerable populations, all of that. That definitely was instilled in me.
So was that in college then when that's happening?
That was in high school and in college. And in college specifically, it was really this one particular program that the sisters had. It was called Women's Global Connection.
Okay.
And they would go to other countries. They had outreach like in Africa, and they would help empower women to become business leaders in their own areas, and help them raise their children and help them become self-sustaining. Right. And I could never afford to go, but I always wanted to go, and so that stays with me, right? It's like really helping people to empower themselves.
Good for you. Good for you. Now, I know you went, so after UIW, you went to UTSA, right?
I did, yes.
Got a master's.
I had enough student loans after Incarnate Word, the university.
Private school.
After private school, yep. Oh. So I decided to go to UTSA for my master's in counseling.
Wonderful stuff. Now, have you ever left San Antonio?
Nope.
You've been here your whole life?
My whole life. Any
desire to go anywhere?
Nope.
Try it?
I used to. Like in my college years, early adult years, I had a desire to live somewhere else. But I'm so glad I didn't. Because I stayed here, I met my husband, who actually went to Central Catholic as well. Got it. But he was a couple years older than me. I see. So we didn't really talk at all until after. And everything, fell into place the way it was supposed to be. And we have an amazing community here.
That's true.
We have a very, very special, close-knit, family-oriented, give back as much as you can, help your neighbor community. And I absolutely love it. And now here I am, with Catholic Charities, which is really the pinnacle of that.
The ink might not even be dry on her agreement at at Catholic Charities here, but we're going to get to that more here. We're just getting started with Ada Saenz, the brand new president and CEO of Catholic Charities. We'll be back with more on Pickup Lines here in just a little bit. Don't go away. All right, we continue on here with Ada Saenz, the brand new president and CEO of Catholic Charities. And I want to get to in a little bit, kind of, for people who don't know what that is, or maybe they're like, I've heard of that, but I don't know exactly what it is. Mm-hmm. You've spent a number of years in social services, nonprofits, Boys and Girls Club. Yes. And that's just like, that's your lane. That's your thing.
That is totally my lane.
What is it about that? Because I know I'm married to a social worker. I know you're not getting rich. It's long hours, maybe a thankless job sometimes. What is it about this line of work that you love so much?
So I started in this line of work actually as an undergrad for a government-funded, it was called TRIO, Student Success Program, for first-generation college students, Pell recipients, and students with disabilities. And I started off as like a tutor and a mentor for, these college kiddos who are first generation, right? They don't have anybody in their family who's ever gone to college. So there's a learning curve there. So, the program would step in and support these kids to make sure that they were successful. That's here locally.
Yeah, because there are a lot of first generation, a lot of first time, I'm the first in my family to go to college type situations in San Antonio.
Yes. My mother was the youngest of 8, and she was the first one to graduate from a 4-year institution. So she was the first generation as well. So I had that privilege, right? Yes. Of knowing what that was like, and having those learning opportunities from her. But a lot of people don't have that in their household.
Did your dad have a lot of education growing up?
He did not. He did not go to college. He went to high school only.
Yep.
So my mom was really the model for a college education.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so you get your first taste of the social work or this kind of this working with these students and the first generation and everything, and you liked it. You obviously liked it, and you kept going.
I loved it. Yes. From there, I got a job with Girls Inc.
I feel like that's where I may have met you.
Okay.
That sounds familiar to me. But Girls Inc. This is what early 2000s, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
This was in the 2000s. Yeah,
Right.
Early 2000s.
Okay.
I was a program director there. It's all about empowering girls to be strong, smart, and bold. Leah Rosenauer, the current president and CEO, will be very happy that I mentioned the strong, smart, and bold piece.
Because she's married to Steve Rosenauer.
She is,
who is with the Fiesta Commission. That's
Yes.
how I know Leah through Fiesta, but I also know she's with Girls Inc.
That is correct. She is wonderful. I love her so much.
Yeah, she's great.
But yes, so empowering girls, helping them overcome any type of gender stereotypes that they may see on the media. And making sure that they're reaching their full potential as empowered women.
So then you eventually make your way to the Boys and Girls Club. You were there for a long time, right?
Yeah. So from there, I went to the children's shelter.
Right. After Girls Inc., children's shelter.
Yes, I was at the children's shelter working in contracts compliance. And the Boys and Girls Clubs is one of our subcontractors.
I see.
And so that's how I got connected to the Boys and Girls Clubs. And I was there for 11 years. With the Boys and Girls Clubs.
Children's shelter. I mean, I would imagine Girls Inc., you probably see some amazing things, but you probably see some tough things sometimes.
Absolutely. With the children's shelter, yes, absolutely.
I would imagine.
Yes, there were some very hard times of seeing, I very vividly remember seeing children being brought to the shelter, in the back of a cop car because there was some type of a hostile situation,
like a domestic
violence situation in the home. It was deemed that it was not safe for the children to remain there.
Yeah.
So they would literally be brought in the middle of the night in their PJs with all of their items in a bag, in a trash bag. But the staff there were amazing. They would help them feel comfortable, help them feel safe. Those poor babies, I'll never forget their faces, and it tugs at my heart.
I've talked to other people who've worked at like St. PJ's and other shelters around town, and they say the same thing. You never forget those faces.
No, you never forget.
No matter how old they get.
Yeah.
And that sticks with you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Boys and Girls Club, I think most people are familiar with that, and you oversaw all of that here in San Antonio for a decade plus.
I did.
Now, were you planning to be there indefinitely, or were you kind of thinking maybe it was time for a change?
When I started working at the Boys and Girls Clubs, at first I didn't know how long I would be there. Really.
Yeah.
But I very, very quickly got drawn in and pulled into the staff at that organization. They were people who had the biggest hearts, who would do everything and anything for those club kids who would come to them every single day.
Right.
And I just fell in love with it. And I wanted to do right by the mission and by the kids in San Antonio to help them reach their full potential.
Yeah.
Right. That's what the Boys and Girls Club is all about.
Right.
But I also really wanted to make sure that the staff were taken care of, because they took such great care of kids in San Antonio, and I wanted to make sure that the staff were taken care of as well.
What would you say, or what was your biggest accomplishment or biggest takeaway once you left to go to Catholic Charities, would you say, at Boys and Girls Club?
I am really proud of a program that I started there called Resiliency Restored. It's a mental health program. It's something that we had wanted and we saw the need for many years. Kids, there's a lot of trauma that goes on in anybody's life, everybody's life, right? There's different situations that occur.
Absolutely.
And if you don't have access, if you don't have the resources or the money to have a professional mental health counselor in your life, and there are all these traumas that you have not dealt with, then you are not at your best. You're not at your best to do your best in school, to think about your future, to reach your full potential. And so Resiliency Restored is a program that we started 3 years ago, and it has large group resiliency skill building for all kids, but then there's also one-on-one therapy for children who need additional support.
Well, I mean, I feel like we're in such a different time now as it relates to talking about mental health. It's much more widely accepted and encouraged now, and it's not as taboo as it might have been in the past. And so,
yeah, absolutely.
And especially for young people, it's just crazy.
Yeah, it was during the pandemic that
even more crazy.
Wow. Lots of children were isolated.
Yes.
And then after being isolated, then they come back to school and they're behind because it was just a crazy time period. And so that was when we were like, okay, it's time. We really need to start this.
Yeah.
So
that's awesome. And so that legacy stays on as you've moved on to the next chapter here, which is a perfect place to take a break here. It's a fascinating story of how you got into Catholic Charities, that whole process, that interview process I read about. I want to ask Ada about that when we come back here on Pickup Line. So don't go away. All right, back here a few more minutes with Ada Saenz, the president and CEO of Catholic Charities. And I was telling you, I was kind of reading about the process. I don't know if you were looking or they found you, or there was divine intervention, or a little bit of all of that. How did Catholic Charities come into your life?
Yeah, so I had my head down in boys and girls clubs, daily, and a recruiter reached out to me. And I thought, this is very interesting. This is a very exciting opportunity for me because I've grown up Catholic, and my husband and I both went to Catholic school. Our children are in Catholic school. They're at St. Anthony Catholic School.
Sure, yeah.
We are, active members of our church, Our Lady of Grace. And so you combine that with my 25 years in the nonprofit sector here in San Antonio, and this opportunity is just both of those combined into one.
So I read there were 300 potential applicants that were identified. 38 people applied for the job. And I was trying to envision this because you are in a room. I think you were, 6 applicants who were interviewed. And it's the Archbishop and one of the auxiliary bishops, correct? Mm-hmm. In a room, 2-on-1? Like, I'm trying to envision, was it intimidating?
So
what is that like for you?
The first 2 interviews was a panel of 8 people. That did not include the Archbishop.
Okay.
It did include 1 bishop, 2 bishops, a sister, and then several board members, and then 2 people from the Archdiocese. And so it was 8 individuals in the room. But the craziest thing is that I felt so comfortable.
Good for you.
You would think it would be super, overwhelming.
I would be intimidated if I was in a room with these.
And I feel like I typically would have been as well. But they were all so lovely and wonderful, and the conversation just flowed. And, all of the questions were about, leading nonprofit work locally in San Antonio for people in need. And so I had that background, and I was able to, communicate my experience. So.
And the rest is history, as they say.
Yeah, and so then after that, then I had the final interview with the Archbishop.
And when you left
Bishop Cepeda.
When you left the room that day or whenever that happened, you were feeling pretty good about it.
I was. I mean, I was intimidated to be interviewed by the Archbishop. I'm not going to lie.
Oh.
That was much more intimidating than being in a panel of 8.
Yeah, no kidding. I bet it was.
But he was lovely, and he's so kind and generous and loving, and so it was
I've been honored to have him in the car with me, and I've been a longtime fan of his, and he knows that. Yeah. So ultimately, you got the job, and you're barely days into it. So I don't even know if you've had a chance to kind of think about what you'd like to do. Or for people who don't know, by the way, Catholic Charities, it's dozens of programs that you're going to oversee, and
50.
It has a huge 50, like she said.
50.
And it obviously has a huge reach. Yes. In layman's terms, how do you describe what it is that you're doing and what you'd like to do? I know it's still early.
Yeah, so we are the social services arm of the Archdiocese of San Antonio,
right?
Which is 19 counties. So it's not just San Antonio.
Yes. I remember because I have family in Del Rio, and I'm reminded that it goes all the way out there and south and a little east.
Yes.
It's a lot of real estate.
Yes, and we have an office in Del Rio.
Yes.
Yes. We have an office in Kerrville after the flooding.
Yes.
We were in Uvalde when that occurred. So when any type of major crisis or disaster, relief efforts are needed, we step in to any and all of the counties of the Archdiocese of San Antonio, which is 19 of them.
So it's a natural disaster, or it could be some other kind of crisis, or whatever the case may be?
Well, that's one of 50.
Yeah, there's 49 other things, yes.
So we have food pantries.
Yeah.
Clothing pantries. We have legal services called Charities.
Okay.
So people who need any type of legal advice, guidance, who can't necessarily afford.
Good to know. I was not aware of that.
Yeah, attorneys are expensive sometimes.
Yeah.
So we do have that. We have St. PJ's and Seton Home. They are also under the umbrella
shelters.
Of Catholic Charity. Yes, they're shelters.
Children's shelters and stuff, yeah.
Yes, so St. PJ's is a children's shelter, and then Seton Home is for pregnant and parenting teen moms.
Got it.
We have San Antonio Birth Doulas. Yes, and we also have Nurse Family Partnership, which is also for pregnanting mothers up to 3 years. So
now, this might sound like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. This might sound like a silly question. These services are not only open to Catholics, right?
No.
To be clear.
No.
So I want people to think, oh, I'm not Catholic, I can't take advantage of these things.
No, it's for all people.
Everybody.
Yes. Yeah. So there's so many programs that Catholic Charities helps people in San Antonio. Just so many.
I've often said on the air that for people who are going through whatever it is you may be going through, there are free resources and or low cost resources in San Antonio. But even, I mean, I don't know what they all are, but there are, if people just reach out, there is help.
Absolutely. If you need, if you have some food insecurities, we can help with that. If you have, you need legal advice, we can help with that. There's just so many. We help with the homeless. We have vans that go out and reach out
with
to
the cold and everything recently too, and it's just again
just seniors, programming for seniors, programming for children, everything and anything.
Probably should just go on the website and look, because it would take you another half hour to outline everything and all of that. Just a couple more minutes here with Ada, and I wonder, clearly faith is a big deal to you. You've grown up with that your entire life. I wonder if you've ever had an experience that you would consider like something divine, or something that maybe you were in a rough spot and there was a sign or something that came into your life that kind of just reaffirmed your faith and realized you were kind of doing the right thing.
So at the beginning of the interview, I said everything is in God's timing. And I know that to be true 100%. Because of where I am now, the way things aligned for me with this job, I've gone through a lot in the nonprofit sector.
Yeah.
It's tough, right? You're doing your best to help people with very, very limited resources. All of the changes in, government changes and
funding getting cut, those kinds of things.
So many dynamics at play. And it's hard, right? So I've had some very joyful experiences of really impacting people in a positive way, but then I've also had, really difficult situations as well. And so I know now that all of those hard times, that was God preparing me for this role. And then also I went on my first Women's Acts retreat.
Yes.
And it just so happened that I had it scheduled, half a year ago. And it just so happened that Women's Acts retreat, which is part of the Catholic faith,
correct,
occurred the weekend before I started this job.
Oh, just recently then?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And which was a beautiful, profound experience for me in my faith formation. And so, it was just, it was all God's timing and God's plan that brought me to this.
And for people who don't know, I've been on Acts retreats before as well. It's typically all women, right? Mm-hmm. You go off to a place, no phones, no technology usually, and it's just you and the Lord and your sisters, if you will, and you just do your thing, and
that's right.
You come away with whatever you come away with. But for you, clearly, it was an impactful time and everything.
Absolutely.
Good for you. Yeah. Well, that is fantastic. Well, again, I'm just so impressed and honored that in the middle of all this, you would give me half an hour of your time to sit here with me. I think it's fascinating. Like I said, being married to a social worker, I have a place in my heart for people like you who devote your time and your energy to these things. And
thank you.
It does not go unnoticed. So all the best to you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
At Catholic Charities.
Yes.
Got to remember, not Boys and Girls Club anymore, although a great organization to be sure.
Absolutely.
But Catholic Charities, President and CEO Ada Saenz. Thank you so much. Good to see you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
God bless, by the way, too.
Thank you. You
all right,
too.
There you have it. Another episode of Pickup Lines in the books. And again, I always just enjoy I could do this every day if I could. I just love the conversations. And I appreciate you guys watching. So until next time, I'm Ernie Zuniga. Have a fantastic day. We'll see you very soon. Bye for now.